there. And finally in this set we see not only a breaking apart of a steel boring bar with the the tool piece still intact, but another interesting set of observations. In this case, the boring bar bent right over to a tight U and broke apart at this rather contorted break. But you can also see, if we can adjust the light sufficiently and zoom in, that there is some very interesting phenomena occurring with regard to any of the alloys that were in situ. In this case, there are globs of copper, pure copper, that have come out of the mix or out of the alloy and deposited themselves at the break there. They're visible at the break here. And you can see their little spots of copper-colored material. Now, strangely enough, when we analyzed the rest of the bar using EDM analysis and XRF analysis, there was no copper present in the alloy. In addition, when we analyzed the content, the elemental content of the pieces that crumbled off of this bar, they were very high in silicon, and yet the rest of the bar had virtually no silicon in it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get analysis of the bar before the action of the fields took place. I also have some examples of the way the samples were mounted for XRF analysis in the electron microscope. Here's a bit of the aluminum piece that was blown apart. And these are various other samples which we've used and had mounted for elemental and structural analyses. Here is the file that you saw in the video clip before. It broke here and then subsequently broke there and there. And these pieces were magnetized so that when you put them together on a table, they would push themselves apart at the breaks, indicating a north-north, south-south, north-north magnetization, which is quite contrary to the normal occurrence. When you break a bar magnet, you get north-south, and they attract. In this case, these, what you might call apparent monopolar regions, were created and blasted the material apart. And finally, we have another set of examples. Here's a nail that broke apart and drifted down and then drifted upon itself. Here is a screw that bent up quite sharply. And here is an example of the quarter-inch rat tail file you saw that burnt apart and sparks flew off of it, and other various and sundry pieces. Here is a molybdenum bar that was used that is used for a pin in a nuclear reactor because it does not deform at great heat or at great temperature. And here it is bent, somewhat like a snake. The dots were used for hardness testing, for determining the hardness.
Okay.
In about 1982, the Hutchison effect was going fairly regularly, and I arranged for Filippo Galuppi of Venus Scientific in Farmington, New York, and a friend of his, Mary, to come up and
I remember.
visit John Hutchison's laboratory along with Alex Pizarro and witness some of the phenomena in person. And what they saw, and what you'll see in this clip, was a video taken by myself. Actually, it was in Super 8 movie footage of an annulus, a bushing breaking apart, and we just caught the breaking apart in dull light before we were so excited we forgot to turn the main lighting on, but eventually we did, and you can see the bushing has broken apart. It just went pop like that and rolled off. A piece of it rolled off, and it appeared to be slightly magnetized. The remainder of that clip that you're about to see will show various other samples and people holding the samples. And we'll close this section by taking a look at some of the other activity that took place during that time frame in the early setup in Vancouver.
Okay.
18th of November, we're at John Hutchison's, and we just witnessed the bursting of this metal. What is it, John? A bushing?
Huh.
Stainless steel
Wonder
bushing.
how. Oh, what's that?
Filippo Galuppi, Alex Pizarro, John Hutchison, and George Hathaway.
Yeah, that was quite the crazy time there. Okay.
About 3 inches long, 1.5 inch diameter, and beside it is a copper tube. And it was found after about 5 minutes of adjusting of the device.
Well, I don't know. Pretty.
That's probably, now there's a bit more light.
What a mess.
Thing.
It looks like it's magnetized.
Close up. As it was sitting,
It's
it
all
appears that the fragment
small pieces. Anyway. Huh. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to take a smoke break.